I originally found you because I was looking for information on index funds. It was something that I was like, you know what? I want to diversify. I'm in real estate. I got some crypto. But I need to get something that's way more, tried and true. And we know that index funds, especially the ones that track the S&P 500, pretty much had 10% return since forever, right? And I learned a lot about my index funds from you, which I want to thank you for that. And it's great. It's surreal to have you here now and be talking about it. Can you talk to the people about what index funds are, the importance of them, and how people can get started?
Well, the main thing to remember is that it's a lot of different companies that you're actually investing in. Whenever we speak about stocks, be it stocks or be it index funds, we always get in the comments, I don't know which stocks to pick. I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And I've got to check them every day. I say, no, look, all you got to remember, if you buy an index fund, it's a basket of lots of different companies. All the major companies in the USA are in the S&P 500. So you're investing in Apple, you're investing in Amazon, Google, all the main people, plus others. And if there's a loss of one of those companies, you don't feel the hit.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing. You don't have to keep checking it every day. In fact, the worst thing you can do is be checking it every day. I mean, we had a call today, a live call on our systems, and it was about, well, I want to do day trading. I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but I've lost money. What do you think I should do? Well, day trading takes up a hell of a lot of your time. Yeah. Index fund investing, how much time does it take you to do your index funds?
I have it on automatic now.
Easy, isn't it?
Every month it just takes a certain amount of money from my account and invest it into. I got one that tracks the S&P 500 and one that tracks the total market.
Exactly. So total market's very good, but also emerging markets I think is very good as well, and that's the one I'm actually extending my investments on at the moment because you only got to look at China, India, all those sort of places which are the emerging markets. I want a piece of that action. Can
you give us a few that you don't mind revealing? I know it's a secret a lot of times, but can you give us a few for the audience?
It's not really a secret. I mean, if you go on Vanguard and just pick an emerging markets fund, I mean, it's literally as easy as that.
Oh, so so would it be fair to this emerging market fund? It's like this. Maybe the equivalent to an S&P 500. It's all the emerging markets all in one basket?
Exactly the same.
Oh, it's a variety pack.
The same. Yeah, so it's very, very simple to do. But again, you're doing the right thing because you're also investing in real estate as well.
Yes.
You're diversifying, and it's all about diversifying, not relying on just one thing. You've got your businesses, everything is put in. It's all pieces of a puzzle, isn't it? It's all about those income streams coming in. So, it's the right thing to do. But get your safety net sorted out because it's so simple.
So for you, as far as your index funds go, you can get, you can choose to collect the dividends or you can choose to reinvest those dividends.
Yeah.
Do you just like
automatic reinvestment?
You automatic reinvestment?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and if you don't mind me asking, so like during those times where, you had to get the payroll, you might have not paid yourself, you got to take care of your employees first. And, luckily you had your investments in place to pay yourself. How were you paying yourself? Was it coming from real estate? Was it coming from crypto? What was it?
Well, some from real estate.
Okay.
Because obviously you can use those funds however you wish.
Yeah.
And that keeps also the investments going as well, because the last thing I wanted to do was not continue to invest.
Yes.
And we also dabble in crypto. I mean, I've been very lucky with crypto because I haven't really bought any of the shit coins, shall we say.
Yeah.
We bought Doge for a while because obviously we saw it going up. We thought we were going to do that, and we sold it, I think, what was it, an hour before the show? Yeah, an hour before the Saturday Night Live thing came on, because everyone's going, it's going to go to $1, it's going to go. Of course it's not. If it gets to 90 cents or 95, everyone's going to sell, aren't they? So we bailed an hour before, and it was the right thing to do.
Wow.
But on Bitcoin and on Ethereum, we've done very well.
That's what I got to.
Bitcoin, we bought I say we because I buy it with my son. We bought pre-21 quite big, which was nice. Okay. We sold quite a lot at the top, took lots of profit.
Y'all were getting it at what, $3,000 probably?
Just a bit more than that, but it was still pretty good. I think we sold first at 64, something like that, and then we bought back in on that first dip, rode it again, sold again, and then we bought some more at the bottom as well. So we hold Bitcoin that owes us nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, less than nothing.
That was smart.
So,
and then
it's lucky as well. Let's be fair. We don't know when this is happening. So
I got to ask you this because you mentioned real estate. Me and Fresh are both in real estate, huge into real estate. And I know we had a discussion about this last time I was on your guys' podcast, and we had a discussion on real estate, that the whole real estate process is a bit different in the United Kingdom
Very
than it is
different, yeah.
to the United States. And I get a million questions for people. Hey, talk about real estate in the UK. Talk about real estate in the UK. You have some real estate there. Can you tell the people about maybe some fundamental differences that might be between the United States and United Kingdom?
Well, I'm not a real estate expert.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I buy real estate. I buy both residential and commercial.
Okay.
Being in business, commercial property is actually a very, very good tax advantage because we put it in a SIP, which is a self-administered pension, which is a great way of doing things.
Okay.
And the residential is bought in a different way as well. Our interest rates, I think, are somewhat better than yours. I think you're operating about 8% plus at the moment.
Yeah,
Right now, 8 to 9%. Yep.
Yeah, we're
High.
about 5.5.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's not bad, is it?
What the fuck? I'm about to go to the United Kingdom, bro.
But hold on, there's got to be a downside to that, though. No.
Not really, no.
Do you guys get 30-year fixed loans or no?
No, we don't get that. You do get that in the States, which
Yeah.
is quite nice. But do you want 30 years fixed at 8+%? Not
No,
really.
no, but you
You'll
can
be
refinance.
I was going to say
Yeah.
you're going to be refinancing very quickly.
Yeah.
But we can get sort of, I'll say probably 5 years at that at the moment.
Oh, is it like an adjustable rate mortgage?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
you
But
know,
how much down do you need though? How much down?
normally first-time buyers. What are we talking, Curtis? Just because you're more in that market. 10. 20%, yeah. So
To buy, isn't it?
20%, yeah. But you can get help to buy as well. There's a help to buy scheme also available.
So even if you're going to live in it, you got to put 20% down?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's a
Yeah.
barrier to
See,
entry.
I knew it.
Because in America,
Yeah.
you could do 3.5% down
Yeah.
if it's going to be where you primary residence.
FHA
Yeah.
loan, yeah.
And you got to live in it for a year, and then you
Then
put
you can
3.5 to
move on.
5, and then you can
Yeah.
leave. So I guess the barrier to get in is a little bit harder. But you can get and enjoy some better rates. But does that 5% interest rate last for like 5 years, 10 years, or do you sign different terms?
Generally, you can go about 5 years. You won't generally get a lot more than that on a low interest rate. Obviously, if you wanted to sign for 6%, for example, you'd probably get a 10-year. But
Okay.
to be honest, the interest rates aren't that high generally for that amount of
Do
time.
they ever go that high where like an adjustable rate would mess you up if you or
Well,
is it
the
better lock in?
worst interest rate I've ever seen is 15%. It didn't last. It didn't last very long.
Okay.
It's when the UK dropped out the money control system of Europe, and it went through the roof for a bit, and it wasn't very long. So,
But is it consistently under 6%? It seems like.
I think the tops I'm paying on mortgages probably about 3.5% at the moment on my fixed.
Oh wow. Okay.
How many properties do you have?
I never disclose that.
Okay.
I
Fair enough.
understand.
What
fair
I
enough.
do, I do disclose what I earn. That's public knowledge on my YouTube videos. But I did say when we started the YouTube and the interviews and things like that, my wife asked me, said, "Don't disclose those sort of things." She likes that to be private. So, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah,
I can agree on that.
Yeah.
I like it private.
Yeah, I'm transparent about it, but no, I can definitely, I can see where that would make sense. And then in the United States, we have like, open laws with like searching shit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Depending on how you incorporate your business, whatever it may be. So you said commercial and residential in the UK. What in the US we go from 1 to 4 is residential. Is that the same in the UK?
I don't think so. I mean, one of the things you have got in the States, which I think is quite nice, is the buying of duplexes.
Yes.
Multifamily.
Yeah,
you-
multifamily.
You can buy like up to 4,
And it's
but
residential.
it's classed as one.
Yeah, so
building.
so like you could buy a single family home, a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex,
Yeah.
and that all counts as residential.
Yeah.
But anything above 4 units is considered commercial.
Yeah, well, I think, in the UK, if you buy a house, literally another house is another house, even if it's joined up. Oh. So you can't do quite the same sort of thing, which
Okay.
is...
So even if
which
it's the
is a bit
same
of a pain.
structure, you're taking 2 mortgages on each unit.
Yeah, I mean, you could buy a street. I mean, we have in some of the towns that Sittingbourne, where we're based as a business, there's quite a lot of what are called terraced houses, and that'd be like 20 houses all in a row. Really, it's one building, all divided up, but each one you would buy as an individual house. You can't do the same sort of thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, my brother's
Wow.
in the UK and my property over there. I checked it out, bro. It's hell,
hard?
bro. Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, like,
So they have more. So see, there's checks and balances. So
Yeah.
like they have more favorable rates, but you you have a higher barrier to enter to be able to acquire the property because you got to put 20% down. But it seems to me once you actually have it, because 20% is quite a bit of equity, you're probably going to cash flow very nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the same rules sort of apply. I mean, you're looking for 1% a month from your purchase price as a rental, if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, you're probably looking at about just a little less than that, probably about 10%. You can pretty much get that on a year. So that's quite good. But obviously, after 3, 4, 5 years, then obviously the rent increase gives you substantially more than that. And I think a lot of people look at what they can rent it for right now
Versus the long term.
versus the long term. And I think a lot of people struggle with long term nowadays. I think, well, long term, well, that's 90 seconds of TikTok rather than 30 seconds, isn't it? That's long term.
Yeah.
Whereas long term, realistically, you've got to have a plan. If you have a plan over a number of years and stick with it, because on real estate, I don't know what it is in the US, but generally speaking, in the UK, you can almost double a property value in 10 years. Almost, probably 11.
I was going to ask you that next is rent very expensive in the UK, depending on where it is? I know London isn't cheap. And are you able, because it seemed to me like you said you can raise the rents every 2 to 3 years, which I mean is pretty good. But is the market to enter very expensive? Like to get a single family home is like $1 million?
No, it's not as much as that. No,
Okay.
I mean, I think the average UK home is about and I'm guessing a little bit of this at the moment, probably about £370. So probably about $450.
$450.
Around that sort of area. That would be for a 3-bedroom, what we call a semi-detached. So what you might call a 2 duplex.
Yeah.
But obviously you only own one side.
You
of
own
that.
one side.
Yeah.
Do you have any other investments other than real estate and index funds? Any other investments?
Well, obviously
Crypto.
the crypto.
Yeah.
I do dabble a little bit in stocks still because it's fun, isn't it? And I do like checking up on them from time to time. So I do dabble, although I don't like to push that side of it. I do dabble a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a couple of little bits of money in. I suppose it'd be called angel investing as well, but it's not really that yet. But I think it's going to become that.
Can you tell us what stocks you're into?
I was going to say, if you could
I know
share,
it's a secret,
if
but
you,
hey,
if you could share one
one or
with
two
one with the audience, that'd be
audience,
great.
that'd be
But
cool.
if you
Look,
can, it's cool.
Everyone's got Tesla, haven't they?
Okay.
There you go.
That's fair.
I've got Tesla
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a
and
bad.
a few others.
Yeah, because Tesla, if I'm not mistaken, isn't there a push in the U.S. government to go fully
Energy
electric?
green. Yeah.
And in the UK as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that in the UK they're doing
Yeah.
that too.
So I have a
And
friend,
Europe.
Kevin Tobias. He sold his Tesla stock and made millions. But I think holding on to it might be even better because they're going full electric.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
So individual stocks, index funds. You said you have emerging funds market
Yeah.
market index, and then I'm assuming also you probably have a S&P 500
Yeah.
one and the total market index.
Yeah.
Anything else that you do?
No,
as far
that's
as,
pretty much the set. To be perfectly honest with you, it's a safe sort of. It's a safe.
what's the emerging
bet.
funds one, man? I'm about to go in there. What's
Yeah.
do you remember the code for
I won't remember
Vanguard?
the code, but we'll look it up as
All
we
right,
finish.
cool.
So
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna start putting the money in there.
so let's say
it's all about the percentage that you put in there. Sorry to
Yeah.
cut you
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment we're about. I always say we. I mean, this doesn't involve my son, my index funds, but it's probably about 10% of my index funds goes into emerging markets at the moment. But it
And the other
probably will
90
be
is
more.
split between S&P and total market?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 40-40 and then 10 for that.
But probably more 60-30
Okay.
ish, around that sort of area.
S&P
anyway.
500?
Yeah.
Okay.
how important is budget when it comes to being an entrepreneur?
Budget in.
Yeah, budget in.
Oh, extremely important. If you don't budget, how do you know, one, what's coming in, secondly, what's going out? I mean, you've got no idea. How can you have control over something you've got no idea of? You can't. So it's fundamental to making any sort of money or any sort of future. It's like having a plan and having a budget have got to be right up there.
Could you break down your formula for budgeting for someone that's like starting up? For example, 20% to retirement, maybe like 50% for business, paying yourself 20%.
Well, everyone's different, aren't they? I mean, I always say 50% for your bills and your groceries, 30% for your investments, and 20% because you've got to have a little bit of fun, go out on the weekends and things like that. And then obviously the replies to that are, well, I don't earn enough to be able to put 50, to do those ratios. Well,
Make
you just
more.
answered your own question. Exactly.
Yeah, make more.
And people say, well, I can't make more because I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that. I say, well, could you not earn $10 more in a day? You know, you're not worth $20 more in a day doing something. Of course you are. So you can earn more. The thing you can't do, if you... I mean, I'm a bit like Myron here. I like the simple math. So say you earn $1,000 a month. A week. And you want to save as much as you can. Well, let's say you save all of it. It's $1,000. That's it. It's limited, isn't it? That's all you can possibly save. And you can't save that much because you've got to spend some. But let's just say you manage to save all of it. Congratulations, right? That's your limit. Well, there's no limit to how much you can earn.
Yep.
No limit.
Exactly.
So you go out and earn 5,000 a week, 10,000 a week, whatever it is. That's where you should be aiming to go, not aiming to save absolutely loads. So I know I use the coffee analogy for your index fund investing because that's a good analogy to say how cheap it is to invest in a good index fund. But literally, just go out and earn a bit more. And
Yeah.
that's the way to do it. Really, It really is. And you know, if you're we are talking to guys here, but same effects to the ladies watching as well. You can earn more money than you are. You know, I always think that if you're in a job and you're getting paid, for argument's sake, $50 an hour, your company is charging your time at $150 an hour.
Yeah.
So you know you're worth more.
Yeah.
Go out and earn that more.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, you'll never save yourself to wealth,
No.
you know, and I think a lot of people, especially people that like, and I had to learn this being an employee for a while with the government, is you just need to make more money a lot of the times. You're never going to save yourself to being rich, and if you try to do that, it's going to take you decades. You're better off just making more money than trying to save yourself to some kind of wealth.